Okay, we've got our 2 passes of laser etching ready to go. Let's bring it into Illustrator and add the line that cuts it all out. Make a new file that is 32 inches by 20 inches, and then click File, Place, and choose both of your images, Kitten Brothers 1 and 2. Then click somewhere on your gigantic canvas to place the first, and somewhere else to place the second. It doesn't matter where, just so long as you can see them both. Now that I know they're both here, I want to put them right on top of each other. So I'm going to select the first pass, and I'm going to come to my Properties tab. I'm going to confirm that I'm manipulating via the upper left corner, and I'm going to place the first pass at 0 on X and 0 on Y. I'm doing this because it lets me click on the second pass and put it in exactly the same spot. 0 on X and 0 on Y. Now I know that they're right on top of each other. So I'm going to click and drag a box over them both and determine their size. And here size means real world units like inches or millimeters. So go ahead and take your piece of material and measure how big across it is on X and how tall it is on Y. Here I'm using digital calipers to see that my piece of material is roughly 3 inches across. But when I enter 3 inches into my width parameter, notice how my image gets all squished horizontally. To fix that, I'm going to click on this gang icon to gang together width and height so that they scale relationally. Okay, now let's get organized. Click on the Layers tab, and notice how I've got one layer called Layer 1 with both of my pictures in it. It's not very organized because I need to send each of these images to the laser cutter one at a time. So I'm going to make a second layer by clicking on the plus icon down below, and I'm going to drag one of my images up into that layer. Now I've got layer 1 and layer 2, each with its own image. And I can call layer 1 light, and I can call layer 2 dark. The name doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have 2 separate layers with this eyeball icon that you can click to make them invisible. At this point, we're done with the etching. So let's get the tiniest bit fancy and add one more layer that will allow us to cut out our etched material. So call this layer Cut Lines, and then go over and select your curvature tool and use this tool to click tiny little dots around the outside of your subject until you've created a nice curvy line around the entirety of it. Along the way, you might notice that the shape is filling in that curvy line, covering up your subject, making it difficult to see where you want to click next. So just come on over to the Properties tab and change the property of this line to be such that it has no fill. That's this box with the little red slash through it. Now that you can see more easily, finish up the curvy line. The very last dot that you want to click is on top of the very first dot in your line. This will close the loop and make your cut complete. Take a look at this blob over here coming out of the top of Teton's head, and notice how I'm drawing one additional circle inside it. This is going to be the hole through which I run the ribbon that I use to tie this ornament onto a tree. Lastly, I'm selecting both of my strokes, and I'm confirming that the stroke is in fact pure black. I am also setting the stroke width to be 0.001, as that hairline thickness is what's going to tell the laser to do the cutting. And that's it. Now I've got 3 layers. One ready to do some light etching, one ready to do some dark etching, and one ready to cut the outline of my ornament. Go ahead and save your Illustrator file somewhere where you keep your files, and you'll be ready to print.